you got the rapper, and then you got the hype man. Like, just know your lane.
Stay in your lane. All right, fine, I'll do it. Welcome to another episode of the Bowga Hunting Podcast. Today we're here with Scott. Scott, you've been on before, and we kind of started this conversation talking a little bit about, the differences between last year and this year in terms of things that you're busy with, and like you and I had talked a bit on the phone a couple times over the last couple of weeks, just about how crazy it's been for you guys over the last year or so. Yeah,
it's with the new year, there's been the good with the bad. I mean, the good being, we made it through last year after being, shown for 3 months because of COVID and everything. And I mean, anytime like I explain our business people, I always say our biggest competitive advantage is that we do everything in-house. So we do all of our own manufacturing, all that stuff. But with that comes a lot of pains and headaches.
Sure.
So, I mean, fortunately, like we didn't have any issues with sourcing, material, things like that, just because we're always on the forefront of that. And we always we buy for the year early.
Yeah.
But, just managing employees, making sure everybody was safe, doing everything we could, but, still maintain like that safety.
Yeah.
But, so then going into the new year, we're like, well, we made it, we survived. Like, we actually had a really good year, only having, let's see here, June, July, August, October, November, 7 months to get a year's worth of work in.
Right.
And we came out and actually, I mean, we had a phenomenal year. Unfortunately, there were some not so good, outcomes, but so going into this year, we were pretty optimistic, still a little hesitant. We weren't sure what our governor was going to do as far as, opening things up and whatnot. So, we kind of had to prepare for that. What if we have another couple months of shutdown? After going through that, what do we do? But so it's been good that we've been back up, and I mean, we're back to pretty much 100% capacity, between our two locations, the machine shop and the office. But like we were just saying, it's just like something in the water or the beer around here, because it's been one headache after the other. And just for like an example, in February we experienced. So I mean, obviously we're a small family-owned company, right? So
HHA for everybody. I didn't know if I said at the beginning. Yeah. HHA, great site, makers of great sites, stabilizers, rests, and so on. So, anyways, keep going.
So, we're a small company, and we do the best we can with what we have, just because, limited capital, limited resources and stuff. But, we've gotten more into like an online,
Sure.
Whether it's marketing, promos, a little bit of retail. We went through this big website redesign a couple of years ago, which, that's way above my pay grade and security clearance. But we experienced our first experience with hacking, website hacking.
Was it the Russians or the Chinese?
It was actually from somebody from Puerto Rico. So I've lost all respect for Puerto Rico. Yeah. So anybody that is listening from Puerto Rico, your IP addresses have been blocked. So,
Sammy Sosa. He's Puerto Rican. Sammy Sosa, right?
No bueno, idiots.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got us once. You're not going to get us again, Puerto Rico. But and so that was like, it was an all-out war. I mean, so in I can't tell you all the details, but literally in 3 weeks we had almost a year's worth of sales.
Really?
And they were all fraudulent.
Oh. You're like, yes.
Well, the first couple of weeks we were like pandemic, like, people are there because everybody saw last year increase in outdoor activities, whether it was hunting, archery, fishing, golfing, baseball, whatever, anything outdoor related is seeing huge increases. So the first couple of weeks were like, giddy up, and, we're kind of all jumping and dancing. And then into the third week, it dawned on me, and I'm like, this is weird, like, because it was the same item. Like it was like 3 items, and it was like in the sequence, and I kind of caught the pattern, and I'm like, something's up. And right when I like literally, like the light bulb went on, and I got a phone call from our credit card processing, and they're like, yeah, something's wrong. And then I called our web development team, and they're like, we got to pull the plug, like abort. So we're still trying to get that figured out. Like, I mean, it is an absolute mess. I mean, so it's going on almost 3 months now. And it's still like, we are trying to tangle all these wires and figure out, you know, because there's so many people involved. Like, so you have the credit card company that processed all these payments. So they want their cut, right? Then you have the gateway, that's the link between our website and the credit card. They want their cut. Then you have our bank that wants their cut. So we have all these people like coming into us like, where's my money? And I'm like, where's our money? Like, we didn't get the money. So like, you know, it's just, I mean, never would I thought like we'd be experiencing this, but you know, it sucks, but it's a learning lesson, you know, like you learn something every day. And so that, not that wasn't bad enough. Then 3 weeks ago, our amazing, you know, brain that runs our whole office, our server crashed. So it's just been, I mean, like I said, it's just been one thing after another. We're right in the middle of this new ERP system integration, and it's like how, like what, like I don't know if I can handle anything else. And so I actually had a call with a training day with this new ERP system, and I kind of explained to them what we're experiencing and do we have to worry about this going forward. And they're guaranteeing me, no, that'll never happen. I said, well, I swear to God, if it did, that's what's gonna. Well, no, that's what's going to put me over the edge, and I'm just going to go lay down in front of traffic because I can't do this anymore. So that's why I said today, and I never thought I'd be saying like, you know, May 11th. I wish it was May 11th, 2020, because I'd be golfing right now.
You would be worrying about, you know, hackers from Puerto Rico.
Hey, sorry to interrupt right now, but we got to thank a few of these sponsors that help make this show and this type of content possible. So here it is.
First up, HuntWise, our favorite phone app. You can get it on Android. You can get it on iPhone. It's the ultimate sportsman's app. It's got mapping, movement predictions, and social media content. So look them up on your App Store, Google Play, or whatever kind of phone you have.
Vortex Optics is some of the best optics in the world. All right, we use them all the time, not only for hunting, but I actually use it sometimes out on the golf range.
And in the podcast range.
And on the podcast. It's Wisconsin-based, so it's an American company. And also, they make a pretty slick clothing line. So if you want to save yourself 20% off on clothes like this, head over to their website and use the code BOGA20 for 20% off.
Yeah, next up is Vector Custom Arrows. It's an arrow company that we really love. Again, they're a Wisconsin company. You basically go to their website, you enter in your bow specs, and they create a custom, perfectly tuned arrow that fits your needs. It's a micro diameter. It's heavy hitting. We shoot them into tons of stuff. We don't break them very much, and they're delivered right to your door. Check them out at vectorcustomarrows.com.
All right, if you didn't know already, we are Michigan guys. So we like partnering with Michigan companies. So we are proud to announce that we are partnering with Prime Archery. And believe it or not, James, you're going to be shooting a compound here.
I'm going to dabble.
He's going to dabble in the wheelie bow again. So we're both actually going to be shooting the Nexus bows that are brand new for 2021.
You're 4. On Nexus 4, I'm going to be shooting the Nexus 2.
Yep. So if you guys haven't checked these bows out, go take a look on their website. They're awesome.
Nano grip. Just check it out. The grip stays warm in your hand. Huge deal. I get cold fingers, and I'm a big fan. Looking forward to it.
If you've been paying attention to the podcast and this show, you know that we are big advocates of saddle hunting. And the best saddles that we like to use are the Trophy Line tree saddles. They are top-notch. They fit really well. They're very adjustable. We've actually used quite a bit of them, and we found that Trophy Line is our favorite, mainly because of that. And if you guys think you want to get into the saddle game this year, or if you're looking to upgrade your saddle, head over to their website, and you can save yourself 10% by using the big long code Bowga Hunting TL10.
One word.
10%. Go get yourself some discounts.
We work with another amazing Michigan company, Bivouac Bow Co., the makers of some of the finest traditional archery equipment that we've had the chance to shoot. I've been loving the mobility and the stability of their backland bow, shooting it for about a year and a half now. Huge fan. It's compact. It shoots like a longer recurve. if you want to get into traditional hunting, if you want to maybe upgrade the traditional setup you have, go to Bivouac Bow Co. Give them a call, talk to Georgia, talk to Jim, and they'll hook you up with something pretty special.
We've all kind of been there. A few hard days in the woods, you're going to get a little sore. Things might not be feeling normal. That's where you can actually use something that's a pretty trendy product right now, and that's CBD. It's not cannabis, all right? So you're not going to be feeling all crazy.
It's hard to light.
This is hemp extraction, I believe it is.
It is.
It's
and this is locally sourced, so it's pure and local.
It's pretty much an oil with a dropper. You drop it on your knee and rub it in just like any other ointment.
Or any other body part that might be hurting.
Yikes. But we use it. It helps. You save yourself 10%. Go to their website. 20%.
Yeah, 20%.
20%.
Bowga.
Sorry. Bowga 20.
And now back to business.
You got to look up here.
And now back to business.
But I went to the website today, and I feel like the customer experience, and I was perusing sites and stabilizers and checking things out.
Yeah, no, I mean, after going through all that, we upgraded, a lot of things. And I will say that is the one thing, going through last year, and it allowed us to, granted, we were very, very conscious of expenses just because we didn't know what was going to happen. But anything we could do, to better, whether it's the website or, anything internally, we took the time to do it. So we put a lot of time and energy into the website and just kind of, buttoning that up, updating the images, and obviously getting new products, on there. So, but that was the other thing going through last year is just, are we even going to be able to come out with anything new because we're so far behind. We don't have
how many things did you come out with?
So we came out with the Tetra stabilizer line. So that was in addition to our Tetra sight line, which we introduced in, so the Tetra we introduced in 2019, and then the entire Tetra sight line we introduced at the beginning of 2020 at ATA.
Yeah.
So, looking back, we were very fortunate that we got through show season of 2020 because at least we had a framework built.
Yeah.
Where when we did reopen, we could kind of pick up where we left off. But, it's just when you're shut down for 3 months. I mean, and not even like we were shut down. I mean, our machines didn't run for 3 months. And
that's crazy.
When you have machines sitting idle that long, that's not good. I mean, it's not good for the machines themselves. I mean, our CNC machines are meant to be ran nonstop 24/7. So when they sit idle like that, it's just not good for them. So, I mean, there's a lot of things we had to get fired back up. It took us almost a whole month just to get back up and running before we could actually start producing products again. Jeez. And by then, that me and another guy, we were still, even though we were shut down, we were still going into the office a couple times a week just to try to fulfill whatever orders we could, because, there still were spots in the country that were open, and there were still archery shops that needed product. So it's like, we got to get some sort of revenue coming in. We can't just go 0 for a couple months. So we basically shipped ourselves out of PECT, which that's never happened. Wow. So to be starting from scratch, come June 1st, looking back, it maybe wasn't the smartest thing to do, but I mean, it was just, we had to do whatever we could. I mean, it's uncharted waters, right? None of us have ever experiencing anything like that. So
kind of making up as you go.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of how I operate, just kind of wing it, and, whatever happens, and, you adapt and move from there. But, so no, I mean, right now, I mean, we're back to kind of where we normally would be this time of year. We're a little bit farther behind than we like to be, but from, the other, companies in industry, I'd say we probably survived 2020 better than most. But we just cross our fingers that we just don't have any more, any more surprises that's going to delay us or hinder our production.
Yeah.
But
it was an interesting year. I mean, on one side you have these issues with production, right? Like things are backed up, everything's closed. Yeah, a lot of people are having these issues, but on the other side, for at least in the outdoor industry, more people are doing stuff outside than they ever or at least have recent future. And so you have high demand and low supply, which can make things stressful for you. But I mean, you go out, we've talked about this before, but never seen so many people out hunting.
No.
You know, people are out biking and walking. Actually, I've been out biking. Have I told you this? I bike. I'm a biker now.
Are you?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's biking. I take Comet and my dog. I bike him for a while. I'm getting
That
good,
counts,
dude.
I guess.
I've been no handing it, practicing. I'm getting good with no hands, man. I can do turns.
Back in the cool club.
Yeah. Sometimes I can do like a lean. I can do a turn, but
I
in all seriousness,
I haven't been on an actual bicycle since I was probably a child.
Yes.
And my first attempt was on a bike, a Quiet Cat.
Yeah.
And it did not end well.
Right. Well,
riding a bike in the dark is not a good idea.
No, that is. Don't they have lights on those things?
Yeah.
Well, some of them do now, or they have lights that you can adapt to them. I had a headlamp on, but your peripheral vision and your depth perception,
not great.
No, and those things like they have, like I think that one I was running had like 3 speeds, and I was only in first gear, but I was still doing like 20 miles an hour, and I hit a rut it was a tractor road, and I hit this thing full speed, and I never saw it, and it took me about probably 30 minutes to find all my crap. And,
just exploded out.
Yeah, I had my bow strapped to my backpack, and my bow was all destrung, and it was a wreck. Like,
yikes.
It was a wreck.
Yeah. Was it a morning commute type deal, or on the way back?
No, it was evening. It was, I came out and I was coming out late because I got pinned down. And so, I mean, it was like dark, like dark 30. And I was in a hurry to get back. You just want to get back and, warm up and, grab a cold beer and just kind of relax. Yeah. So I was kind of, I was hustling. And I remember I was laying there on my back just staring up at the sky, and all I could see was stars. And I was like, so this is how it ends. Like,
you're dead. Yes.
I'm just going to die in this lonely cornfield with, nobody's going to know what happened, because I hunt with a bunch of a-holes. They're not going to come look for me.
No, so it'll be a couple of days before they really realize anything.
Until they see the vultures circling.
Yeah. And they this weird smell.
Yeah, and they think it's an EHD kill or something like that. They'll go check it out. But no, I mean, you're right though. I mean, and so that's the other thing, with us, not only are we dealing with 3 months of being shut down, but you're also dealing with a huge increase in participation and demand. Yeah. So like on a normal year, we can make adjustments to our forecasting and our productions. Yeah. So we have monthly production meetings, and we can see the trend, like, okay, we're tracking like 20% above or whatever. So we can adjust the machine time and stuff like that. But when you're starting from ground zero, and you're just going into a blaze of fire, like how do you plan for that? It's just, let's make as much as we can. And so our machine shop ran 24-hour shifts for June, July, August, and September, just to try to knock out as much product as we could. But then, we do everything in house except our anodizing. Just we do that. But then, our anodizer was shut down. So then, now they're backed up. It was literally just like a domino effect. But, to your point, if there was anything good that came out of that, was it forced people to get outside, because that's all you could do,
Really?
And, like turkey hunting, like I hadn't turkey hunted in, I don't know how many years, just because I didn't have the time. And I was like, I have nothing else to do. I'm going to get out turkey hunting. And everywhere I went, the parking lots were packed with people turkey hunting. And I was like, because that's all you could do. Right. So, that is the one, I guess, blessing in disguise, is that more people are outdoors, whether it is hunting or archery or fishing or whatever it is, at least people are getting outside. So.
Yeah, we see it a lot. I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah.
It definitely has complicated, like COVID has complicated life, but like it does give you a little extra time to be outside, and a lot of people working from home now. So are you seeing this like a trend continue, or how are you reacting now going forward? Do you plan for new products now? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, we're basically, like I said, we're kind of back to our normal routine. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're already prepping for 2022 with new products. It kind of forced us to look at how we do business and how we operate. COVID, it exposed a lot of inefficiencies and areas we could improve on. So because we had the time, we were able to improve some of those processes. Hence, finally realizing that we need to upgrade our ERP system to something that, allows us to have more control and stuff like that. But no, yeah, I mean, it's kind of, and that's kind of like the question is what to expect now, like, right. Because the sad thing is you almost feel bad because it seems like the archery industry specifically, and obviously, I mean, the gun industry is going just wild, right now, but generally, historically, anytime guns or the firearm industry was seeing an increase, we always saw a decrease, okay. Right? Like we were on opposite, cycles, but no, I totally forgot my train of thought, but so now, like I was saying, it seems like the archery industry always thrived on like chaos or, anytime. Really? Well, and I'm going from my personal experience. I mean, the archery is all I've ever done since I was 13, but in different positions that I've held over the years, it seemed like anytime there was a depression or a recession or it was an election year, like it always took some sort of like event to cause an increase in archery. So like we've always described it as this like roller coaster, like we ride these highs and then we have lows, and it seems like when you're high, it's like a 3 to 5 year wave, and then it comes down, which nobody ever wants to see it comes down, but all it's really doing is just resetting the bar to where it should have been. Sure. Because if you leveled everything out, it'd be stagnant. So now it's just kind of like, we're all farmers and just trying to make hay while the sun's shining. Who knows how long it's going to last? I think me personally, just because of, the new participation, there's a lot of first time, participants or people that maybe, shot archery in the past and got out of it and now are getting back into it. So I think we've gained a lot of new users that will hopefully, we'll have for future years, and hopefully it gets passed on. And it kind of becomes like the cool thing, like the last time I can remember a spike like this was when the Hunger Games came out. And,
sure.
and it wasn't hunters, it was just archery participants, whether, it was a family that just wanted bows to shoot in their backyard or, whatever it is, but that's literally the last time I can remember a spike like this. So it's just weird how it always takes some sort of significant event to get us to see those increases. But I think now, hopefully we retain all those new users. And, I had this discussion actually with ATA, now with like there being such an increase in all these outdoor activities, whether it's biking, for example, or whatever it is, like we're all the same, right? Like as far as like our mentalities and stuff, like there's so much crossover between those activities. So how do we bring that all together? And I don't know the answer to that, but that's like, if we can figure that out, I mean, now it's a sustainable like customer base. You know what I mean? It doesn't take
very powerful.
And it doesn't take these significant events for us to see these increases anymore. It's like, and same with archers, like I've always golfed, but like I've never been a serious golfer. Yeah. And now I golf more than I shoot my bow just because it's something new, it's something cool, like it's something different, right? So, how do we pull people from other sports like that? So like I said, I think as bad as last year was, I think there's a lot of positive that can come out of it if it's all played the right way. And again, that's above my dumb capabilities, but it's just the opportunity is there. It's just how to capitalize on it now.
How long have you guys been around? How long has HHA been around?
Since 1984.
Wow.
Yeah, that was when the company first started. We've been building archery sites since 1994. Okay. So archery sites, I mean, that was just kind of what stuck. And the whole stabilizer thing, that kind of came about because that was one of the first products that HHA ever made. That's kind of what made them, like, they kind of got their name out there.
Really?
Is we built, HHA built one of the first like knuckle systems where you could loosen the stabilizer and it would bend down so you could fit it in a case.
Yeah.
Yep. So we actually came about, that again, so that's 36 years ago. And we just so happened to come about the very first stabilizer that we made from a garage sale. Somebody saw it and bought it and brought it to us. And literally it was a 36-year-old product still in the package. And yeah, so it was kind of cool. We have that now. So that was kind of cool to see. But yeah, it was kind of, going into the stabilizer game, that's a flooded market. There's a lot of stabilizers out there, but it was kind of special to us because that's how HHA started. And, we lost our founder 2 years ago. I guess it'll be 3 years in July. So, that was kind of special to, cool. Kind of get back into that market. So, and it's done well. Obviously we have our following and stuff like that. But, it'd be interesting, like on a normal year, what could you do? But so far it's, again, it's, we'd probably be doing better if we could keep up, but it is what it is.
Yeah, you do what you can. Those stabilizers are cool that you can extend them in and out.
So the LRZ, so the LRZ, that was an idea that was actually suggested from a friend of one of our owners. And, there's some other stabilizers out there like that, but, they're like a telescoping.
I've seen those,
yeah. Where ours, it's truly like you can customize some of it. So it'll go from 6 to 10 inches or anything in between. You can add an extension on there if you want it longer. And then we have just the fixed length, and then we also offer a back bar mounting system. So it's just kind of rounds out the whole stabilizer line. But, again, we make it all in-house. So it's just kind of building off of what we already do. So.
Are you a long stabilizer guy?
Normally,
hunting?
Yes.
Yeah,
normally, yes. Over the last couple of years, I have shortened my stabilizer just because 2 years ago, I messed up on one of the biggest bucks I've ever had in front of me. I was in a box blind and my stabilizer, so it had a fold down window in front of me.
Yeah.
And when I went to pick my bow up, the window was on top of my stabilizer. So when I picked it up, it made this loud bang.
Oh,
man. It was right at dark, and it frazzled me. And I still had an opportunity, but it just, I lost it and just, couldn't make it happen. So after that, I have shortened my stabilizer. But also I think too, like, bows, they become so much more balanced to where you didn't really necessarily need all that weight out front.
Right.
So now I run probably 3 times more weight off my back bar than I do my front bar.
Yeah, to keep it. Otherwise, you're the kind of guy that likes it to, when you shoot, not fall forward. Just I
don't like it falling forward. No, because I already have a tendency to drop my bow arm.
Same.
So I like it just to sit stagnant. But that's the nice thing with specifically our stabilizers and that LRZ is you can truly customize the feel for it. And that, like an example, with Hoyt, they introduced their Picatinny mounting system on the front.
Have you seen
which
that?
we
That's
now
cool. Yeah.
It is, but it's not new. That's been done, and that's what's kind of interesting about the archery industry is you're seeing a lot of a lot of technology being introduced that we saw 20 years ago, and everybody laughed at it, but now it's it just was before its time. But the perfect example is like Scent Crusher or Ozone now.
Yeah.
Everybody's running Ozone machines, whether it's Scent Crusher or whatever brand. Yeah. But I can remember my first full-time job in the industry. I was a sales rep, and we represented one of the first Ozone machines, because Ozone machine had been around forever for carpet cleaning companies and stuff. Mm-hmm. It was the first commercial Ozone machine geared towards hunters. And everybody, I mean, I can remember walking into archer shops. I was 22 years old, this little punk kid, you know, didn't have any facial hair or anything. and that, all of them being like, and like I was trying to sell snake oil to them or something like that.
Some trick.
Yeah. Like get out of here. But you know, so it's just kind of interesting how now we're seeing like old technology, and that's that Picatinny mounting system. But it actually is pretty cool. So we make a site that. But back to the stabilizer thing, because you're moving the sight from the side of the bow to the front of the bow, that adds. It does cut back a little bit on weight because you're using a smaller bracket, but it redistributes the weight in a really weird spot.
Yeah.
So the first time I felt it, I hated it because the bow fell forward, but then all I did was just took weight off my front bar and added it on my back bar. And it's actually, it's kind of cool. It keeps everything really nice and like compact and just really balanced. So
you can almost use it as a front bar. I had a real heavy one years ago. Yeah, because I was the same way. I would have like a big front stabilizer, and then I started using the dovetail, and like I would get major fall forward. And one of my bows, I shot even better with just a back bar and a dovetail.
You see a lot of that. Yeah, you see a lot of that. And you know, me personally, the fact is, you know, if you're going to run a lot of heavy weight off the front, so like there's a reason all like the big, you know, tournament archers, they shoot those 3-foot front bars just weighted down, but I don't practice enough to where my muscles are trained to support that.
Yeah.
You know, I work out every single day, but it's muscles that you don't use like that. So if I just don't shoot enough to be able to support that type of system. But I mean, if you do, then, you know, that system can work very well for you. But just me personally, it just doesn't work. So
yeah, it's like I found that either you're doing not dovetail with a little bit longer stabilizer worked better for me, or a dovetail sight with like more of a back bar, more weight in the back, just so it's because I have a tendency to do the same thing. I drop my bow arm a lot when I shoot, which then kind of forces you to like kind of twitch when you shoot, and it's all jacks you up in a whole bunch of ways. So
well, and it did for me too, because you know I was always told you know, load your stabilizers up, shoot as much as you can front, shoot as much as you can off the back. And so I did. And like I said, I don't, you know, back before I worked, you know, I had a career that you had nothing, you know, when you're in college, all you do is shoot your bow, you know, but for me, I'm a lefty, but it caused me to raise my right shoulder up and kind of like tuck. And so it screwed my form. So I had to kind of try to retrain myself. Because I was trying to support all that weight, rather than just letting the bow, you know, using my back muscles. But you know, that's the thing with archery is everybody's different. You know, like everybody.
See, all last year, I didn't even use the stabilizer.
You didn't?
No, didn't have anything on it.
I think like you said, I don't know. It's like a cost benefit analysis. Like when you're hunting, stabilizers can be like the worst. They can be like, you had a great example of it. You know, where they just bump into things. They're hard to carry around. They just are stubby, and like we're in pretty tight quarters where we hunt. Yeah. Whether it be like sitting on the ground in the middle of a swamp, or you know, hanging off a saddle in like a skinny tree that has a bunch of branches on it. Like it can be a liability at some point. And it's like there's a trade-off between being the target guy and the hunter, and you need to find like that happy medium.
Right. Well, and you brought up a good point that I was just going to mention. You know, like the worst thing about a stabilizer with hunting is when you get up into the tree and it's dark, right? And you just snuck in there and you got in there just incognito, totally undetected. And then you go to pull your bow up and the stabilizer gets up on branches and you're sitting there like a toilet plunger trying to get it up. And then like, especially with the popularity of saddle hunting, because the whole thing with those is there's not a tree you can't hunt out of with those. Right. But you know, like I've seen, like, you know, some people are tucked into these just nasty, thick, you know, cedar trees. Which, if anybody has ever tried to pull a bow up in a cedar tree, you know what I'm talking about. Like, they bounce all over the place. Or like, you know, if you're hunting out a ladder stand or something, like like if somebody could come up with a way to stabilize your bow, so it's like an elevator and it just comes straight up, you'd have $1 million idea. Because I mean. And that's why, honestly, a lot of times now I strap my bow to my backpack to climb the tree, because
that's what I do.
I can't handle pull up ropes anymore.
No, I do the same thing. I strap it to those back straps,
You got to get a retractable cord.
Oh, and you.
I got a Doyle's gear.
Mm-hmm.
But you still can swing it. It'll still hit stuff on the way up, right?
Yeah, but that's
that's like a dog leash, right? Where it's like there's always tension on it.
Yeah.
Because it's automatically retractable.
Yeah.
So that's a little different because the cord's always taut, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, because the cord does get, if it's not taut, if you use like 550 cord, it'll just get wrapped around stuff. Or sometimes I'll even have it get hung up like on a barky tree, like under some bark. And I'm like, trying to pull it up.
There's always like a stick wrapped up in it, and then that gets caught and stuff. Like I've come to the realization that I am not a good hunter, that I am better off just being lucky. Like if it's my day, it'll happen. And if it's not, then I suck. Like for me, it's just, I'm spending time in nature, and like, hey, what I become Marty Stauffer, just, an observer.
Yeah,
because,
exactly.
like,
right.
I've come to the conclusion that for me to be successful, I just got to get lucky.
We're huge fans of luck. This is a pro.
I'm a big fan of luck.
Hunting. You don't like luck? You don't like the saying you'd rather be lucky than good?
I'd rather be good
and lucky. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'll take good, and I'm gonna always try to learn more and be better and do all these things. But throw in some luck too. I love luck.
Well, that's why you have the podcast and I don't, because you can be lucky and good, and I'm just.
We just bring in
lucky.
people that are good.
Sometimes about every 10 years I get lucky.
My hope was if we had enough guests on that continually gave us good advice, that at one point in the woods I'll make good decisions. And so
well, and the thing is I was joking about this because I have been very lucky the last couple of years, like especially last year with the pandemic. Like I was able to travel for some hunts and still get out, and which it was I'm very fortunate for that. But I think it's, and again, this is me and my philosophical like way of thinking, which I'm not a philosopher, but it takes luck for like the situation to happen, right? So it takes luck for, you can do all the scouting you want, like you can stack all the odds in your favor, but you're still hunting a wild animal. So it still takes a little bit of luck for everything to come together and work out. But when it comes to the moment of truth and making it happen, that's where like the skill comes in.
Absolutely.
So you prepare for when the luck to occur, but
it's sandwich. It's a luck sandwich. You got skill ahead of time. You got a moment of luck for that deer to show up, and then some more skill at the end.
Well, because I mean, how many times have you been hunting, and like you have a big buck dog and a doe, and she's right on the trail that's going to come right by your stand, and for a reason he cuts it and wanders around, and you're just like, well, that was bad luck. Like if I had $1 for every time I said that, like I'd probably be able to afford bike lessons or something. But
that's right. Yeah, to not fall on your bike.
Mm-hmm.
It's true, because it's like I've had that before. It's like there's two ways that animal could go, and it could either break my way or break the other way. And sometimes, like you said at the beginning of the podcast, Jared, or maybe before we were recording, sometimes you eat the bear, sometimes the bear eats you.
That's right.
Jared's just like, no, I'm just good enough to where I know what that deer is going to do.
Just walk out, deer, just roll over.
I know what he's thinking before he knows what he's thinking.
You didn't even get far enough in your turkey contest this year, man.
I lost to the runner-up this year, and that dude should have won, by the way. The guy from Wisconsin was way better. And again, I think that whole BHA contest is just
what, Jared?
A contest.
We'll
leave it at that. It's a contest.
He's not sour about it. You know what though? Your results speak for themselves. The 5 5 different times in a day?
Yeah, we did.
So I mean, you were the caller for that. I got, like, the beautiful thing about hunting with Jared is I'm just like, hey man, I'm going to be the shooter. I need you to call for me. And
I'll take out in the first morning, and it's like, all right, permanent cameraman, permanent caller, permanent, hey, hold my bow.
We went on some deep walks too. Yeah. It worked out great for me.
And that's what I love about like elk hunting is I was able to shoot an elk last fall, but I can't make an elk sound to save my life.
Right.
I always just go with the people that know how to do it, and then they feel obligated to call for me. So and then I tag out, and then you can't find a bull to save your life for their tag. But
that's right. All you do is just be like, man, you're such a good caller, Jared.
Yeah, I know your strategy.
And you know what? It works. You know what? You're a good enough guy where you do it anyways.
I would do it.
If I was a good caller, I'd call for you. I just am not a good caller. I try.
I would. I mean, that's one of my goals. Hopefully, is to become a really good caller. But
yeah,
when it comes to the skill, I'm just very skilled at picking the right people that can call, that feel bad for me.
That's a skill too.
And want to. Yeah. So I've learned over the years.
I'm developing a voice call going into next year. I'm going to be a voice caller, like those dudes that can call with their mouth.
Should.
That'd be sweet.
That or just like don't shower for a week and just piss all over yourself, and then you smell like one.
That's right.
Well, you already smells like onions right now.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I had a little tie before podcast. So soon.
Ooh, that's a bold move.
It is. It's the curry. I smell delicious.
That's a bold move.
Close quarters.
Very close quarters.
Yeah.
This, you would think we're in this spacious sound studio, and you'd be right. It's giant. Look at this place.
Hey, I like it. It looks good.
So
maybe next time just upgrade the matching chairs.
Yeah,
he gets the.
Why don't I have? I just realized I have the bone. I've got a very bony butt. And I'm sitting on this wood. I'm going to be bruised by. I just put a gel seat on my bike for this reason.
Oh, dude!
You need a gel seat.
A few miles on the bike seat will find you.
It bruised my butt. Like I was bruised.
Yeah. Looks like you're ready to like knit a quilt or something after the podcast.
That's right. I dole out some advice and knit it by the fire.
I knitted a pair of mittens during the podcast.
Take it hunting season.
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. This is one mitten at a time. Scott, we wanted to have you on to kind of share some of your experience over the last year, just because we had been talking, and it was just interesting to hear your perspective. It's something we've talked about on the podcast a lot, but to hear it from the other side of things, us being hunters and guys that are customers, for stuff that you guys produce, it's good to hear what you're going through, what the challenges are, and it sounds like you were able to come out on top and have even plans for next year, some exciting stuff coming out. It sounds like too.
Yeah, no, like I said, we were very fortunate, and that we came out as well as we did, and again, probably a lot of it was luck. Just we were able to bounce back as quickly as we were, and like I said, so far, this year has been good. There's still the battles, but like I said, I know there are companies that are struggling and are a little bit farther behind than us, but I think again, like through it all, it's just good to see that the industry is overall like healthy, or as healthy as it can be, and the fact that we're seeing an increase in participation, and especially like on the hunting side with increases in license sales, which some people don't like that because their secret spots are getting. I've got a love-hate relationship
with it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I get that, but at the same time, like, it's it's a double-edged sword. What would you rather have? Like complete, seclusion and decrease in participation and whatever, or because in order for the industry to be healthy, we need participants, right? Yeah. So
absolutely.
So it is a double-edged sword, and like I said, turkey hunting last spring, I was pissed off every, I spent, all day staring at maps. I'm like, I'm gonna go check this spot out. Like nobody will go there. And then you pull up and there's 12 cars parked there. I'm like, well, shit. Like,
yeah, we have that. We've had that. Would you guys say you were more than average recipients of the stimmy bucks that people would spend? Like, did you find people would get that hot, fresh check from Uncle Sam and head out?
Well, I think we saw, we weren't direct like recipients, but I think we were like a pour over. So sure. Like you guys, like with your relationship with Prime and stuff, bow manufacturers right now are busier than they've ever been.
Yeah.
So again, my opinion is people are spending their stimulus checks on new bows. And, because they got a new bow, they got to update new accessories and stuff, which that's, and that's kind of the tricky thing with like our business being an accessory manufacturer is we are dependent on bow sales. Yeah. So the more bows that are sold, the more sights and stabilizers and the rest, that we sell. So, I'm sure, maybe people that bought bows in the last 2 years, instead of buying a new bow, they upgraded their accessories and stuff. But
sure.
I think, that was part of it too. Like, last year, because nobody could do anything. So rather than families going to Disney World or like, taking those family vacations, they had that money that they would normally spend on that stuff. And they were spending it on, more hobbies, like interests. And especially, I mean, how scary was it when you went to the store and you could buy chicken or meat or, now
right.
All of a sudden,
time to go provide.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't worried, but, because, as hunters, I mean, I got a freezer full of meat and, but I well,
must be nice.
I won't tell you how long that meat's been in there, but
that's right.
It's not like
but it's in there and it's
in there. I mean, if I had to, or even like like my mom, of course, moms being moms are always worried about, their kids and stuff like that, even though I'm 36 years old. But, I have like a year supply of Mountain House from, backpacking trips and stuff. So it's like, I'm going to be fine. Like I got enough old t-shirts I can tear apart for toilet paper. Like I don't need toilet paper. Like
Jared just uses his hand.
Well,
lefty,
I mean,
I thought.
Oh yeah, lefty.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got these little brittle, office hands that, probably wouldn't last too long, but yeah.
You're talking to office hands himself.
Soft to the touch, but not very durable.
He's a little callous on there.
Yeah. But so again, I think that just goes back to people wanting to be more self-sufficient and not relying so much on the grocery store. And it kind of reminds me of like when Y2K hit.
Yeah, sure.
And everybody was terrified that you wouldn't be able to find food. So that was when freeze-dried food kind of became popular. And, I'm sure there's people that still have that crap stored in their basement for a rainy day.
Bomb shelters,
yeah. So I think it just, I think it just opened a lot of people's eyes and just, and just wanted people to kind of change their hobbies and find new interests that involve being outside. And I mean, and you can look, I mean, like we said, with either golf or bikes or whatever, but I mean, you look at like RV sales or boat sales.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's all, I do feel that that's all correlated. Like
sure.
The more people are outside, then they want to get into more outdoor activities. So maybe, whether, they started with our biking and then they moved to buying a bow.
And they see that deer and they're like, I wonder if I can shoot that deer.
Yeah.
Let me go get some camo on a bow.
And instead of wondering if you can hit it with your car, I wonder if I could shoot that.
No, it's good that we're going through just a healthy turnaround. It's good to see that the hunting industry is kind of still going. And thank you for coming on and giving us and shedding on a little light within, the hunting industry on your perspective. Just making sure, for us, it's good to hear that you guys are still kicking.
Yeah, and doing well.
And doing well. Besides the cyber attacks, and you guys are staying up.
now, I mean, who knows? Like, I thought the virus was the worst of our worries. Now I'm like, what else?
What's the other kind of virus?
Right. No.
Well, the thing is, though, if you've got a good product, and you, like you said, you almost create this legacy sale that you're able to kind of weather some of these storms, because people are like, I know what I'm getting. I have my thing. I've used this site, for example, for years. Like I don't want to switch into something else. So that's big.
Right. Well, and like I say, the fact that we do all of our own manufacturing and we source the majority of our materials locally within, an hour or two. So, we're not reliant on products from overseas or, from around the country. It's all very local here. So, I mean, that's huge for us. And, at times it kind of seemed like it handcuffed us a little bit. But, through all this, it's actually, it's proven to help us. But no, always enjoy coming on with you guys. It's always a good time. And, we talked about the shoot coming up, and hopefully we can.
We haven't announced it yet. Should we announce it now?
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Did I?
No.
I'm sorry.
Not yet.
Wait, no, leave it there. But there's a shoot coming up.
Yep.
If you're in the
My
Michigan
bad.
area, no, this is not a secret. We're not keeping secrets, but it's
you know what? It had to come out at some point. This was a perfect time to do it.
just know, listen to more podcasts for more information. We'll slowly divulge it as we go over the next coming couple weeks.
There. Now
Teaser.
I just now people have to listen to the podcast, you know, because they want to hear about it. But I can't tell you how many Christmases I've ruined for children because
No.
So that's just par for the course for me.
No, well, we appreciate you coming on. We appreciate you being part of this shoot. May or may not. Who knows what it is?
Whatever and whenever it is.
That's right. We appreciate it. Well, for everybody that wants to check out HHA, Scott, where can they find you?
Just hhasports.com, and then you know, obviously we're on all the social media, you know, handles, Instagram, Facebook. You know, I mentioned the website. Another thing we're really trying to increase is our YouTube content. So we have some really good instructional videos that we just posted up there over the last year. So yeah, I mean, we're always trying to you know, increase the user experience and you know, be better. So, you know, we're always open to suggestions or recommendations. But no, I mean, we appreciate everybody that stood by us over the last year and helped us get through this. And you know, hopefully you know, at the end of the year that we kind of get back to normal next year with the shows and can see everybody, and you know, everybody remains healthy and in good shape.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. I'm excited I'm going to be needing those videos. I've not switched back to compound, but I've included a compound back into my arsenal this year. So I'm excited to get things sighted in. It's been a while since I've had the wheelie bow out. I'm excited for it. So
yeah, aristocrat.
That's right. All right, man. We'll talk to you later.